Brian Douglas Wilson, born on June 20, 1942, in Inglewood, California, is an American musical icon whose innovative songwriting, intricate harmonies, and pioneering production techniques have cemented his status as one of the 20th century's most influential musicians. As the co-founder and creative force behind the Beach Boys, Wilson crafted a sound that defined the California dream, blending surf rock, pop, and orchestral arrangements in timeless hits like Good Vibrations, God Only Knows, and California Girls. His work, marked by complex vocal layering and introspective themes, revolutionized pop music, earning him the title of a genius by peers and critics. Despite personal struggles with mental health, Wilson's resilience has fueled a prolific career spanning over 6 decades, including a vibrant solo career and continued influence in 2025. Now 82, he resides in Beverly Hills, California, where he balances family life, music projects, and advocacy for mental health awareness. His journey from a troubled childhood to a global music legend reflects a life of creativity, perseverance, and profound impact. This biography explores his remarkable career, personal life, and lifestyle in 2025, celebrating a legacy that continues to inspire. Wilson's early life in Hawthorne, a working-class suburb of Los Angeles, was shaped by music and adversity. The eldest of 3 brothers, Brian, Dennis, and Carl, he grew up in a home where music was a constant presence. His mother, Audree, played piano, and his father, Murry, a machinist with songwriting ambitions, encouraged the boys' musical talents. Despite this, Murray's abusive behavior left lasting scars, contributing to Brian's partial deafness in his right ear, caused by a childhood injury. Music became Wilson's refuge, as he and his brothers harmonized to songs by the Four Freshmen and George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, which captivated him. By 16, he received a reel-to-reel tape recorder, teaching himself to overdub and experiment with vocal arrangements, a skill that would define his production style. At Hawthorne High School, he formed early musical bonds with cousin Mike Love and classmate Al Jardine. In 1961, inspired by Dennis's surfing hobby, Wilson, his brothers, Love, and Jardine formed the Pendletones, later renamed the Beach Boys by Candix Records. Their first single, Surfin', released in 1961, tapped into the surf culture craze, marking the start of Wilson's ascent as a musical visionary. The Beach Boys' rise in the early 1960s was meteoric, driven by Wilson's songwriting and production. Signing with Capitol Records in 1962, they released Surfin' Safari, with Wilson writing 9 of its 12 tracks, often collaborating with Love on lyrics about cars, girls, and surfing. Hits like Surfin' USA, I Get Around, and Help Me, Rhonda, captured the myth of Southern California as a paradise, blending cheerful harmonies with a boogie beat. From 1962 to 1966, the band scored 13 Billboard Top 10 singles, 3 reaching number 1, rivaling the Beatles' popularity. Wilson's role as bassist, keyboardist, co-lead vocalist, and producer set him apart, as he became one of the first rock artists to write, arrange, and produce his own material. His 1966 masterpiece, Pet Sounds, elevated the Beach Boys to new heights, with its orchestral arrangements and introspective themes. Critics, including Rolling Stone, later ranked it among the greatest albums ever, praising tracks like God Only Knows. However, the pressure of fame and a 1964 nervous breakdown led Wilson to stop touring, focusing on studio work. The ambitious Smile project, abandoned in 1967 due to internal band tensions and Wilson's mental health struggles, became rock lore, though he completed it as a solo album in 2004. Wilson's personal challenges, including schizoaffective disorder and depression, shaped much of his career. Diagnosed later in life, he experienced auditory hallucinations and periods of isolation, exacerbated by drug and alcohol use in the 1960s and 1970s. A 1967 breakdown curtailed his Beach Boys involvement, and by the 1970s, he was largely reclusive, struggling with overeating and substance abuse. His family hired psychologist Eugene Landy in the 1970s, whose controversial control over Wilson's life included co-producing his 1988 solo album Brian Wilson. Landy's influence ended in 1992 after a restraining order, allowing Wilson to pursue conventional treatment. The 1990s marked a resurgence, with solo albums like I Just Wasn't Made for These Times, 1995, and consistent touring. His 2004 completion of Smile was a triumph, earning critical acclaim and peaking at number 13 on US charts. In 2025, Wilson's resilience is evident as he continues to engage with music, supported by therapy and medication, as he shared in a 2006 Ability magazine interview. His openness about mental health has inspired fans, with ex-posts calling him a survivor, whose music reflects both joy and melancholy. In 2025, Wilson's lifestyle in Beverly Hills is a balance of creativity, family, and reflection. He lives in a comfortable home filled with musical memorabilia, including vintage guitars and Pet Sounds master tapes. His daily routine includes morning walks, listening to jazz records, and studio sessions, where he experiments with new compositions. Financially, his net worth, estimated at $100 million, stems from his Beach Boys catalog, solo work, and royalties, allowing a life of stability. Wilson remains active in music, with plans for a 2025 tour announced in 2024, featuring stops in Los Angeles, Chicago, and London, as noted on tour2026.com. The tour, celebrating his career's milestones, includes performances of Pet Sounds and Smile, with state-of-the-art production to enhance his intricate arrangements. Despite health challenges, including dementia diagnosed in 2024, Wilson performs with support from his band and family, as seen in his final 2022 concert in Michigan. His passion for live music, shared in a 2016 Harvard Business Review interview, drives him to connect with audiences, delivering what he calls teenage symphonies to God. Wilson's personal life is anchored by family and enduring relationships. He was married to Marilyn Rovell from 1964 to 1979, with whom he has daughters Carney and Wendy, members of Wilson Phillips. In 1995, he married Melinda Ledbetter, adopting 5 children: Daria, Delaney, Dylan, Dash, and Dakota. Melinda, who passed in January 2024, was his savior, as Wilson wrote on Instagram, providing emotional stability. In 2025, he remains close to his children, particularly Carney, who manages his social media and shares updates on X about his tour preparations. Wilson's home is a hub for family gatherings, with his grandchildren often visiting, filling it with music. His friendships with peers like Al Jardine, who joined him in recent solo tours, and collaborators like Van Dyke Parks, keep him connected to his Beach Boys roots. Despite past band tensions with Mike Love, Wilson focuses on harmony, occasionally joining Beach Boys events, like a 2023 tribute concert aired on CBS. His love for animals, including 2 rescue dogs, adds warmth to his daily life, as seen in photos shared by Carney.